to another episode of Crystal One-on-One. I am Crystal, and today I'm very happy to have John Ssegawa here with us today, actor, director, should I say theatre extraordinaire?
Whatever. Maybe.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm very good.
Great.
I was just commenting that he looks really good, nice and trim. I mean, what do? Do you work out or?
No, work.
What keeps you busy?
Work keeps us busy, keeps us jumping up and down, and
You're always on your feet.
And stress, and you know what?
You know, stress is actually a pretty good way to keep you in check.
Yes.
Okay, so we want to understand your story. We understand how you've gotten to where you are today. So maybe you can just take us back. When was the first time you knew you wanted to be in theatre, to be acting?
It's a long story. I think. Acting, because I think we're back from school. You know, those schools, Kaboja, Savio, they are school choirs. And remember, that is when you had the chance to like go out and whatever. So you had to join the choirs. You had to participate.
So you could get out of school.
Could get out of school and go buy something to eat, like, because there are no canteens at school and everything. So I think it was that. And at home, because we are kind of a large family.
Okay.
And we used to live on a large farm down in the village in Mubende.
In Mubende.
Is
that where you were born?
Yes, because we were isolated. So we had to entertain ourselves.
Okay.
Like family, like those small plays, playing mommy and dad, playing like soldier, playing the things you watch on television.
Okay,
exactly.
So that was you and your siblings?
Yes.
Okay, so in terms of your parents, did they have any history in acting?
No, they do not, and they're very conservative, by the way. And they encouraged it in such a way that we used to have visitors like on Sundays over the weekend, and they would encourage you to entertain their visitors. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's how we started, and that's how I started. And like on serious acting and whatever, it wasn't like I wanted to join, but I just wanted to run away from home. Yeah, and so I wanted to find something that can keep you busy in town.
Okay.
And we used to watch those plays on television of the Bakaimbiras, you know, and then the great actors, the Charles Senkuges of this world, and then you really like to measure yourselves, like you liken yourself to those people. How I wish I could be like those people.
So you could feel the
pull.
pull.
You feel the pull. That if I don't do this, then I can do this. You know, when you're young, you gamble.
Yeah.
You are into this, you are into that, you are into the other. You get it.
Yeah.
So you just do it not for like it's going to be commercial. You are going to live in this thing. It's going to be part of your life, but just to find something that is going to keep you busy. And you see what happens. We are what we are today.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to take you back to your family. You said you were a very big family.
Yes,
your parents were quite conservative. So were they all about education, books? Was it also you'd work on the farm as well?
Both, because they would encourage you that because my father is a self-made person, and through hard work he became who he is today, and that's what he wanted us to do. You must work to earn. If you earn, then you have a good living. You understand? But definitely he encouraged school, because in Mubende there are no good schools.
Okay.
By that time.
At that time.
Yes, and then this guy who did not go to school has the courage to pay school fees at a distant school, yet very expensive, because we went to Savio Junior School. By that time, those were the big schools in town. You go to St. Henry's Chitov, those were the big schools in town, you understand? And this old man, and this man from the village, a farmer, taking kids to such schools, I think it was encouraging. Yes, it was encouraging. And it enlightens the person, because education in the village is different from education in town. Okay? And the people you get to meet in such a schools, you do not get to meet those people in village schools. Therefore, you have the opportunities when you grow up to have a better life and living.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So in school back then, was it just a matter of getting in the choir and everything to get out of school, or were you also into sports? Were you naughty? Were you quiet? What kind of child were you?
I was a very naughty kid.
Very
very,
naughty.
very, and very stubborn. Why? Because, you know, I think it's part of the culture of the family.
Okay.
Okay? Because if you are so many, like we are more than 15.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, so that's a large family.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So you have to stand out. You have to fight for this. You have to fight for that. So it that's the background you grow up into. You understand, and then you go with it to school. These are boarding schools. You go to a boarding school when you are like in P1. You have to survive that. You have to fight to fend for yourself. Okay, so it creates that animal in you. You understand?
Okay.
For the good or better. I mean, for good or bad. Yeah? For example, like if it is, these are not mixed schools, boys' schools. You understand? You fight for food, lining this. You fight for water, washing in the evening. But I think it creates something in you which builds up slowly, and then it shapes you like through secondary school, and then
So you become quite aggressive.
you
eh?
become quite
You
aggressive.
Fight for yourself,
You
yeah.
fight for yourself. You become quite aggressive, and you want to stand out sometimes. You understand? For example, our schools, like we like for us, Mzee used to take us to school on each big chirore. Tata.
Yeah.
Yet other kids used to come in Porsche cars, whatever. So, and you are like the villager in the school. Okay, and then you want to beat that. You want to clear that away from the minds of the kids.
Other kids. Oh yeah.
You understand? So you want to play not a villager, you know, you understand? Okay, you want to be like them. So you tend to act, you tend to mix and mingle with the A class in the school, so it shapes you somehow.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you say you were naughty,
Yes.
that means you definitely got in trouble.
You definitely, I got in trouble like in secondary school, by the way, and I didn't manage. I mean, like, I went through several schools.
Oh,
Several
please take us
schools.
through that.
And I went through several schools after my
Which ones did you go to?
after P7 from Savio Junior. Then we go to St. Henry's. You know Savio and those brothers of Christian instruction schools. They like distribute
Okay.
you to those schools. Like when you're in Kabojo or Savio, they will have some will go to St. Mary's, some will go to St. Henry's, some will go to Kasasa, some will go to Ibanda, some, you know, they go distribute you. And and when you go to such schools, you are not alone. You know, your OBs are there. There was a bunch of 30 kids who left last year, and then you join like 30. So you are in that environment, which you're used to.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
which you're used to. And it's like, okay, there is bullying, like you go to schools, but these guys who are there from your school, they protect you, so you do not go through that tough bullying through school. Okay, so you already in an environment which is normal to you because you have been with these kids from primary. So when you go to secondary school, then they are here to tell you what they do in secondary school.
Okay, so it
They
wasn't
tell you
too much
about
of an
smoking,
adjustment.
they tell you about drinking, they tell you about going out for dance, you know. So they nurture you into that kind of life, which you did not have in primary school. You
You're
understand?
trying to say that they're the ones who influenced you.
Exactly, that's what they do. Because you're a colleague, you're like your brother, so they initiate you into something different, which you did not have in primary school.
Okay.
So from then you go to the Bidongo in Masaka, Patel Shamji, whatever, and we had the sack. You go to another school and the same troubles.
So you're being expelled and
yes,
then another school.
you go to another school because in these schools, it is like a family, you know. These brothers who look after you when you are in Savio, they are the same brothers who are in these different schools we go to. Okay, they know you from childhood as a young person. They know the kind of character they wanted from you. And then when they see you in school and like you are deviating, you are off the line, they try to bring you back because they know you way from when you are from P1. This is our kid.
Yes,
So they help you through that.
Yes.
So this kind of expelling you from school A and going to school B, it was like referring you to a different environment, but not expelling you per se.
You are the first person I've heard talking about being expelled like that.
Are you sure?
Yes,
That's
most
what
people are like, but you're just moving on to
Yes.
the next one and then to the next
The
one.
brothers recommend you to Akati John to Musobola. Let him try Brother Aganzi in school B.
Okay.
Let him try Brother Kafelo. So after Brother Kafelo, they take you to Brother Aganzi. From Brother Aganzi, which is a different school. So you are going to different schools, like you're their kid, right? You are their kid, and it I think it's not good in a way that you know what it will happen if they expel me from this school, then they will take me to another school.
So you
Then
didn't feel like
you do
like
not
you had
feel
too
it.
much
You
to
do
lose.
no, you do not feel it.
What kind of music did you listen to when you were growing up? Do you remember?
When we were growing up, mainly church music, and they had this. They call it.
Is it
These discs?
Yeah, the
yes,
vinyl, the
yes,
old one.
the old ones. That thing, yeah. And he had those Lingala music, Kasongo, and then the Renzori beats, That's when you get to listen to local music. And then there comes, when you go to secondary school,
Then you
there
listen to
comes a guy
different-
called Lucky Dube, and then you fall in love with reggae music, and then you want to be like that person. You want to grow dreads, you want to see whatever. So from primary school then to secondary school, then I loved the Lucky Dube.
Lucky Dube. So if there's
Message.
a song that you were to listen to that just takes you back to
Yeah,
being that time when
yes.
you would be Lucky Dube?
Yes, Lucky Dube.
Okay.
Wandering up and down the streets of Soweto.
It's Crystal One-on-One, and today we're filming at Le Chateau Brasserie Belge, and I'm enjoying their cappuccino. I'm chatting with John Ssegawa today, and you were talking about how you got expelled from this school, and you moved to the next, then you moved to the next, but the hardest part was facing your dad.
Yes.
You said you were like 15 kids, but
15, like.
were you like towards like one of the oldest or youngest?
I'm like fifth
Fifth.
or sixth around there. Yes.
So when you said your dad would just keep quiet for like 2 days, talk to you.
Yeah, no talking. Very angry.
Very angry. Were you the
Yes.
only one who was?
Yeah,
or were there like a bunch of you who were all very stubborn? and-
No, they were not, by the way. And the one or two were in seminary school, they prepare, getting ready to become priests. And my elder brother, one is a priest in Jinda, Mitiana, there. So I think the experience was different.
So you
My
were the
experience
one
with
who
my
was
dad,
the rebel.
rebel, and it came a time my young ones who started being, who like became stubborn and like didn't want to go to school and so and Mzee wasn't worried about them. He said, if I manage this John situation, your situation, I can manage your situation.
I managed your brother.
Yes, I can manage your situation. So I was like the highlight of rebelling in the family. Yeah.
In the family.
Yes, and
You just said to me that if you could go back, you probably would do things differently. You do have some regrets.
yeah, definitely. I do. And by the way, that's what I preach to my kids. Please use your time in school. You will regret. I'm telling you the truth. Your dad here is a perfect reference. Okay, because life is a struggle, and if you went through school well, and listen to what the teachers were telling us and the parents were telling us, like grooming you into what they wanted you to be, whatever you be through school, it pays. You do not struggle like any person who did not go to school, because the avenues for a person who did not go to school are limited. Yet for a person who went to school, this world is very broad.
It's very different.
It's very different for you, yes. So
Okay.
the regrets are there, but
So you didn't finish school?
I know
Did
I
you
like
drop
the
out?
course I didn't like, because I wanted to be a lawyer, then it failed.
Then
Then I wanted to go. I wanted to repeat senior 6 to get the grades, you know.
Yes.
And then I went to progressive because those days it was progressive that when you go to progressive, you're going to pass. They had a teacher called Juko, you know, and if you go do arts and progressive, you're going to pass, you're going to get the grades to go to find a better. We were looking at Swasat and law. Those were the profession, the courses you would like to take. But then after like one term, repeating senior 6, then in town here, then it became hard for me. Okay. The way the hostels, the whatevers, I wasn't comfortable with that. Okay. And yet I had a vacancy in Chambogo. By then it was called ITEC. Yes, ITEC. I had the opportunity to go and be a teacher, to study and be a teacher. Because the selections after senior 6, they selected me to go to ITEC. And then I did not want to do that. I wanted to pursue the other thing I wanted. But then after the term in senior 6, the repeating, I said, no. Let me go pursue the other course.
Okay, so you went and
I went and did a diploma in secondary education, specializing in fine arts, in art.
In art?
Yes, because I think that's the best mark I got in senior 6. I said, let me go and do my art. Let me go and do my art.
And now, even now, are you very artistic?
I tried to do teaching after high school, like 1 or 2 years.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Like in Mengo, and there is a school called Pride Academy. And then it's no more today. But then I joined this art thing, theater.
How did you end
I
up
decided
there?
to quit. There is a guy I went to school with, it's called Kennedy Sekisambo. He was acting with the Bakai Melodrama actors. Then that's how I got into these things. And on interactions and whatever, they went to school with Abe Muchibi, MDD in Makerere.
Yes.
So on interacting with Kennedy and meeting Abe, so we became friends. Okay, Abe by then was acting with the Black Pearls. The theater was called Riverside, around Chiseka Market there today. And when we were interacting and meeting, he had this idea that I want to quit Black Pearls. I want to create my own.
Okay,
we didn't take him serious, but then he was serious. One day I was at Pride Theater and I saw him advertising A4 paper, Afri-Talents looking for actors and whatever. So I looked for Abba and said, Abba, are you serious? You started this thing and you already named it Afri-Talent. He said, yes, I'm on, I'm not turning back.
Wow.
And I said, I'm here to join if you need help.
Oh.
Yes, if you need help.
So you're ready?
Yes, I can help you. Help, just. And then we started. We started with a few, like five actors and actresses, and then we teamed up with some guys who were living also about Black Pearls, Katolu Wama, Mariam Dagide, Ashraf Semogede. For them, they had started their group, what's called Diamonds Ensemble.
Okay, so you had Diamonds Ensemble?
Yeah, they had Diamonds Ensemble, and then Abe was forming Afri-Talent, but they were there to help. Okay, because it was so hard, so we decided that these companies must work together.
Yes.
We are 23, 20 whatevers. These companies must work together for us to survive.
Yes, you had to support each other.
We had to support each other. One we write, the other we direct, then the actors will do. That's how we started. We had 2 groups in one. This group, like we share the revenue. For example, if we had a period where Diamond Ensemble was acting, then all the actors from Africa, it would go and then the vice versa, and then that's how we managed to fight the competition therein.
Because it must have been really tough.
It was very tough, and we were resented by the big groups. Today it is open, anybody can start something, but then
it was only the big
you had to register.
Yes,
you had to register. The theaters you're going to work, to stage your shows, your plays, they had to give you permission. For the National Theatre, you had to deliver your script. It had to be passed by the censorship board. You just don't wake up tomorrow and then you have a play done.
I think today a lot of people just say,
yes, everybody just walks in and then can do anything. But those times we couldn't manage.
Okay.
Yeah, and our breakthrough was a play called Order. Chiragiro, we were doing something about the military.
Okay.
We had a chairman by then who was called Wechitiwa Noah Malanyanzi. Was the chairman of our Kayang group, and then he was he's a friend to Major General Kasile Gwanga.
Okay.
By then Kasile Gwanga was in records and whatever, so they gave us help, money.
Okay. The support
Because
you needed.
the support, Kasile managed to bring soldiers and fill the National Theatre. Sure, yes, and we're doing their play, Order Chiragido. We're acting about how order should be implemented in the army. Eh?
Okay.
There's
okay.
no your way in the army.
No.
Know your way. It is this order, and that person who deviates from the normal, then you're reprimanded. So that was our breakthrough, and then here we
Wow.
are. Yes.
Wow. So now you've talked about, the play that was your breakthrough. Is there one that is dear to your heart that you look back and you're like, this one was so special? Because I know you worked on so many productions.
Yes, so many productions. One, because there are two. There are two I can talk about, or three. One is
You can
called...
tell us about the first one now.
One is called Nsitano. It was when we started earning. When we started acting, we wanted to pull crowds.
Okay.
So basically we are doing it for free.
Yeah, you weren't making any money.
No money. So we invite a lot of people just for them to come and know what we do, understand us, and then feel what we do, and then create that special relationship. Because if you want to sustain yourself in this industry, you must create that relationship with the audience, with their patrons. They must love you, they must feel you. It is like a life together.
Yes.
So you have to create that first. And then after that, then we started charging.
Okay.
So our first monies that came in were from Nsitano. All right? And then we would walk on the streets and somebody would just look at you and say, hey, that's the actor, that's the actor. And then you start feeling important. You start those shoulders things, celebrity thing and whatever. And then we went on television, WBS, showing the soap, however bad it was, but then it was okay. We
But
were
at
beginning.
the time, it
but
was
at the time,
alright.
yes, we were beginning. And then that was special in Zitano because we started feeling that yeah, we have arrived.
Oh, okay. At least you started making some money.
Yes, we are about
from-
there. We are above there. We can feel it.
Let's get together to fight this holy Armageddon.
So you were telling me about the first production where you started making some money, started being recognized on the
Yes,
streets, which is a
yes.
good feeling.
Yes.
And then you were on TV as
Yeah, we were on
well.
television, yes,
But then
and-
you said there's another one that also.
Yeah, the stand-up play is
Yes.
called Pereketia. These are the days when radio was big. Eh? You remember the Salongo Jones of this world, Nina, CBS was big, Mulindwa Mungi was a star, big star. And so we teamed up with these radio personalities to do
Okay.
a production.
Oh.
It was
Whose
like...
idea was that?
It was from Mulindwa Mungi by then, because he had a program on radio which tackled demanding needs in society. Then
Okay.
it was the land question, like it is today.
Yes.
It was the land question, Baganda versus the rest. That's how it were. That these people are coming here to grab our land, all right? And then we had that debate that if you sell it, because they do not grab, like they steal, you Bagandas have failed to develop your land, and so these people are going to come and buy it and develop it.
Okay.
So that was the question. And then we put it on stage. So
Okay.
it was big. We earned big.
Because it was relevant.
Yeah, because it was relevant and because it had the personalities, and we
Yeah.
earned big.
Okay.
The money, like millions of shillings. Like you are like 20...
Around what time was this?
Around 98.
Ah, that's a lot of money.
Yes, there was a lot of money in 98. And then you buy your first car. You don't know how to drive it. Like... You know, our first car, we bought a car, me and Katolwam. Katol didn't know how to drive a car. So I was there like a driver, like owner, okay, because we lived together around near each other. So you go park at a petrol station and go to your home, okay? So that one is turned out everybody earned money, and we believed that now in theater, you can earn money. You can stop everything you do, cut your teaching thing, whatever, and then concentrate. It is a business.
Yeah.
You can
I think you have to run it as a business, because
Yes.
I interviewed Flavia recently, and she was talking about, you know, when she started acting a bit, then she realized, acting is not easy, at least
No.
not if you're looking for the money.
Yes, not
So
easy.
you have to work constantly.
Yes. And so that was that. And then the third one is called State of the Nation.
I
State of
remember
the
that.
Nation was a play by Bakaimbero Damaktas. First was called Kasambatuko. They did something after the war. They did something. They
Okay.
depicted what was there in the Ruero Triangle,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So I watched that play, and we wanted to do something for the 50 years of Ugandan independence. We wanted to link the Luero times, and the present day Uganda.
Okay.
That's why we called it the State of the Nation. How are those liberators behaving today? Right?
Yes.
So that's the play we did, and it was very dangerous.
I can
And it was very
imagine.
dangerous, and we were stopped from showing it.
Did it show at all, or?
Yeah, it was on
was
stage.
on
It was on
forum.
stage, and then after showing it like for 2-3 weeks, then we got a letter from security that we cannot show this play again. It had elements they did not like, and they asked us to remove.
Wow.
And we said no, because what they wanted us to remove was the theme of the play. Because those times there was talk about the first son, okay, taking on from the dad.
Yes.
It was the talk of town. We had the Tinyefunza saga, this later and whatever, and then we had to depict that, and then security wasn't happy with it, and they said, no, you have to stop it. All you except you remove that first son story, and then you do your stuff. And then we told them we cannot, because this is the theme of the play.
Yes, and
Yes.
that's messing with
Yes, the message you try to deliver to the people, and so I think that's the death of independent thinking theatre practitioners. That was the death of it,
Yeah.
and today it is boring. I want to tell you.
A lot of people talk about, you know, journalists and how free speech is being interrupted or interfered with, but that I think is an example.
Yes, it is an
So
example.
after that, so what did you do? Because you
After
decided
that-
to stop showing it?
We tried to explain to them. By then, the late Kawesa was still around, and he was a charming guy. We went to his office. We tried to explain to him, and then he sent us staff from the police and CID, and as a very good negotiator, Afande Kawesa was. He told us, please remove a few. Don't be hard on. Don't be hard, because if you are hard, all of us are losing out. You are losing out, and the audience is losing out, and us as government, it does not look good on our side, the PR. We look like we are, we are hard on our people, and so we
So
try
you
to
managed
find
to find a
a
common
middle
ground?
ground. But then when we did it for like 2 weeks, it wasn't the real thing, and
It
we said,
wasn't the same.
no, we cut it.
So
Then-
moving forward, has that affected
Yes, it does.
you?
Yes, because the society is growing, Crystal. Our society is growing, and we need to tickle their minds. We need a discussion. We need a discussion. I don't want to be political, but you must be political. If we are in such a situation where we are at crossroads, the country as a whole, Uganda, and we as artists, we must be part of the debate. The music, the drama, what we put on television, we must be part of the debate. Today, our very own Robert is his story. Everybody knows his story.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we must be part of it. We have been dragged to the political table, so we must discuss it. How do you discuss it? We discuss it with our songs. We discuss it with plays we put on stage.
Yes.
But if you are limited, if you are restricted, if this is a no-go area, you must not discuss this, you must not discuss the other.
And you keep experiencing that even when you come up with new plots, you know now that you can't go here, can't go there.
There is a fear. There is a fear in society. And the fear this fear transcends even to the young actors you are going to bring on board. Asking Crystal to act this kind of character, she will, no, John, you understand that. And then you have to force, maybe, because he or she wants to be part of it, but he does not want to be part of he does not want to identify.
Yes.
Today in Uganda, it is very difficult to differentiate between John's character and John the person.
Okay.
Character in a play, in a production, and John the person.
Okay.
Character in a person who is singing, and the person. You have Bobby Wine, you have Robert Kyagulanyi,
Yes, they're two.
you have
They're different.
Chameleon, you have Joseph. You understand?
Yes.
So it is hard to differentiate, and that is a problem we have in our industry. We must help the audience understand this. We must help the audience differentiate this. That if I'm John Ssegawa, then when I go to stage and act a certain Nixon, who is a murderer, John Ssegawa is not a murderer.
No, that is your character on
Exactly,
stage.
exactly. But our society has not been educated to think like so. All right? They marry the two together, and then that's a problem.
Yes.
That's a problem. So if I'm going to do a play, if I'm going to attack the government today through my script, my play, and then I use a character like Orengo, acting Orengo, these people are not going to differentiate Orengo from John Ssegawa. You understand? But I'm trying to
What is
depict.
missing? Why do we have that gap, though?
What is missing, I think it is through society, because it has become a patriarchal society. Everything stops, begins and ends with the big man. We must please the big men. And this big man syndrome has come from top up to down. You go to the deep in the village we come from. For example, we can go take our state of the nation to Mubende, my home area. And then a certain district security officer will come. He's the big man in that area there. He will not do this. It is against, you are against our government. It has become our. You understand? So it is difficult for you to discuss such questions through plays.
Yes.
And so these days plays are boring, and these days that's why people have gone to comedy.
Yes. Because there's a huge wave of people
Yes,
going to comedy now.
because it is the simple thing. It is the simple thing. And comedy, what do? They talk about tribes. Mutoro does this, Mtoga does that, and then on the streets this was that and that was that. Simple thing.
Then they're not addressing
You
real issues.
You can just go there. You have not prepared, and you start your jokes. At the end of the day, if the people do not laugh, then you bring a joke which goes below the belt. You do all the obscene, and then you go away with it because you are in a bar. People are drinking, and then, right? So it becomes difficult if your works are confined in a bar. Then there is no discussion. You must discuss for sober people. You must sit in the National Theatre and put up a play for discussion.
Because also you want people to build a conversation.
Exactly. Look, today, where are the writers? Look, the schools, the literature schools in secondary school and the Uganda students, they do plays that were written by great writers. Munara by Tsenkubugi and so many other people who wrote plays. What do we have today? For us, for the past 20 years, we have been doing it in AfriTalent. We have so many plays, like 25. We have not published any play. It is not on the syllabus. You understand? So if there is no intellectual discussion, then our works are not going to be, they are not going to they are not going to live the test of time. We cannot sustain that. It must be a sober discussion. The Alex Mukurus of this world had great plays.
Yes.
You understand? So
that's a very good point. I mean,
it is a very big
people
point.
are learning about Shakespeare.
Exactly. We are doing Shakespeare plays. Where are our plays?
Yeah.
All right? All right. Society, theater practitioners depict what is in society. Today, what is in society? Do we discuss it through plays? Or we are just, music is about copying Nigerians. It is not well thought of, you know. It is about who has good face, who has the biggest butt, you know. It is, you understand, where is the discussion? Where is the intellectual discussion? Society has so many issues we must discuss. Prostitution, unemployment, lack of education, cleanliness, health. Today we did a play, child sacrifice. So many subjects, Crystal. But if you discuss these subjects, they in such a way relate to governance. They are political. They are political. But all of us fear to tackle that question. You will be depicted to be on the other side. You will not be with us. That one is not ours. So theater becomes boring, and then you have to concentrate on the simple, the comedies,
the light things.
Yeah.
So you've talked a lot about like Ugandan productions. Have you ever been influenced by like outside productions or theater, international theater?
Yeah.
We just mentioned Shakespeare's.
Yes, I have. We were. I'm forgetting the title of that production. These were in London, and these guys were staging a production.
Okay.
But they had been there for like a year.
Okay.
Okay, and the director had, because he went with a crew from South Africa.
Okay.
All right, to London.
All right.
And these had families and whatever. And then because it was so popular, they continued rescheduling because of the tickets were being sold.
So this
out.
was a South African production?
Yes, South African production. And then they took it to London theaters.
Okay.
Okay, and it became a hit.
Yes.
And so he had to look for other actors because the actors he came from South Africa wanted to go back home. They had their families. That wasn't the contract.
Yes.
We came here for a month, and then we are living in London basically. Right? And so they had to hire, you know. I was inspired with that production. I'm forgetting the name. So I think we can do it for Uganda.
Okay.
I think, look at the Nigerians, how they did it. I'm so disappointed with with Ugandan writers and filmmakers. I'm of the view that we can create something Ugandan, not even African. Because if you say African, you are going to go the Nigerian way.
The Nigerian way or the South African way?
I want us to create something Ugandan. Crystal, there is a way we talk as Ugandans.
Yes.
When you go to Kenya, they laugh at us that our English is very poor. Ugandans are slow, you move like as if you're singing. Like you understand.
We are at Le Chateau Brasserie Belge. It's Crystal One-on-One. I'm Crystal and I'm chatting with John Ssegawa, and he was talking about the need for us to create something truly Ugandan. You were talking about, you know, music. You're talking about writers. And a lot of people keep, even in music, a lot of musicians, like, what is the Ugandan sound? What do you think we need to do?
People have to believe in themselves. We must not be blown away by trends.
Okay.
If we are allowed to be blown away by fancy things, then we are losing it. Why? Because you cannot maintain it. Because it's not you. It's not you. Crystal, you are a girl. Okay? And if you are into makeup, if you are into makeup, you will not be the Crystal. You'll always be that made up thing. You understand?
A lot of young women are battling
Yes,
with that.
and you do not feel it. You do not feel yourself. So you do not love yourself.
Yeah, you cannot leave the house without your
Exactly,
face done.
Exactly. So what do? You accept.
You accept yourself.
Exactly. That's what we have to do first. Yes, we can copy for you to stand out. For you to break through. But when you break through, then find your signature. That's what I always tell people. Me, I'm an artist.
How long have you been in this industry, by the way?
I've been in this industry for 20 years. For 20 years. But all along, I wanted to create my signature, the John Ssegawa. Okay? As much as we're in that group, I wanted to create myself. I didn't go to school to learn drama.
No.
I didn't go to school to learn writing. I didn't go to school to learn directing. But when I had the opportunity to sit with the greats of this industry, the Charles Senkobu guys, the Alex Mukulus, the Mariam Dagiris, the great actors, writers, I had to learn something from them. Something that's going to be my own, which I want to use today.
Yes.
Okay? It brings me back to the subject I was talking about, Ugandan. How do you create Ugandan? And I was saying I'm disappointed by filmmakers.
Yes, and
writers.
writers.
Because we have so many good stories. And yes, when we go to school, there is a way they tell you, all you read from text, how a person must act, how you should act, how this script must... No, that is a guideline for you, to help you establish yourself. Because we Ugandans have a different way of reacting. And the Nigerians have a different way of reacting. Theirs is extreme and whatever. Ours is not, okay?
Like,
Yes. And the Bazungu have something different. They are kind of calm. So when you ask me to act like Bazungu, no. In African, you express, you use your body, use your hands. Okay, but when they tell us you're not supposed to do, no. We have, yes, those are the guidelines, but then what is ours? What is Uganda? And then we must find that. We must find that in our stories. We must have the series we put on television. They must be Uganda. We must tell the Ugandan story. Those who have managed to put the series on television, they are trying to copy from what they see on television. That's their life. They want to be the Kim Kardashians of this world. That's their life, and it will never be Ugandan, right? Our audience, by the way, the people who watch television are not the Kampala best. Outside Kampala, because they have the time to watch television. For us in Kampala, we do not have the time to watch television. That's why today they tell you that, okay, this. Because it is all over, it is understood. It's the local language, it's whatever. And their ratings are there, okay? That should be the question. Where is our audience? Who are these people?
Who are watching?
Their levels of education, their economic levels. Therefore, we must understand our Ugandan and do something that depicts our society.
That really reflects who we are.
Exactly. And if we do not do that, if our music is not that, if our dramas are not that, if our comedies are not that, we are going to lose out. We are going to lose out.
Okay.
Yes.
So when it comes to like young actors,
Yes.
young people in your industry, what's
Yes.
the one thing that you tell them that you have learned about?
Crystal, we have a problem with young would-be actors and actresses. Why? Because they have grown in a society of instant celebritism.
Oh, okay.
That one person, one guy will go do one song, however obscene it is, and tomorrow is a celebrity.
Yes.
So they want to get there quick. They want to be like you, Crystal, in a year. They do not want that journey. They don't want. Yes, they do not want to be part of that.
Yes.
They want this top thing. It is difficult. We tell them you must be patient. You must go through the steps.
You must do the work.
Yes, you must work. You must learn. You must get the experience. It's about experience. You must be patient. You must be patient. It's not glory from day one. No, it cannot be. You have to be patient. You have to fight. You have to work for it. Very patient.
Okay.
And it takes time.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about family for a bit.
Yes,
You said
yes.
you have 3 children.
Yeah, yeah.
How old are they?
Oh, one is 19.
19.
Joined university this year, Victoria.
Wow. Uh-huh.
The other, senior 5. And my last one, senior 1.
Senior
my girl.
1. So your baby's in,
Yeah.
in senior 1. They're quite grown.
Yeah, yes,
They're
they
quite
are.
grown. In the world today, as you raise your kids, because that's a challenge.
It is.
How are you trying to keep them balanced, you know? Because it's so hard to have them grounded.
It is. And their parents being the entertainment industry is also part of the problem, okay? Because they see their parents in themselves, which is wrong, right? So my firstborn has been like me. I feel like my story I told you about school.
Yeah.
So he has been from school, this school, the other, and not like the being the stubborn I were in school, like going for to dance and whatever, but pride. Pride. Those guys, they have that pride because my dad is so and so, because my mom is Mariam Dagiri. You understand? So he parades it at school. He parades it before the teachers. It is very dangerous. So you have to keep them grounded each and every day, talking to them and telling them you are not your dad and you'll never be your dad. Okay? My dad is a farmer down in the village in Mugende. I'm not a farmer. My life is totally different. When you see my dad, when you see my siblings and the John Ssegawa, it is totally different. Totally different. Right? I used to have grades, and when I used to go back to home, Dad would tell me, totally different. So that's what we have to tell our kids.
They have to make
Yeah. We take you to school to guide you, meet other people, listen, hear different stories, and then find yourself, find yourself, discover the person in you. You cannot discover the person in you when you want to be the other person. The other person is always blinding you. The other person is always all over you. So you must dump that person first, and then find yourself, and then create your own.
Okay. You clearly are very passionate. Very passionate. But can I ask you, when you are away from theatre, what do you do for yourself?
One, I want a quiet place because we are in a struggle. We are trying to find something different. You know, we are, like I told you, at the crossroads.
Yes.
We want to try to find something different because economically theatre is not working these days, right? We are struggling. The entertainment industry has no restrictions. We are struggling. Therefore, you must find time for yourself to think about the future. Previously, when we were young, you had no time to think about other people. You were already fighting to be this, I want that, I want that car, I want to go to this theater, I want to go to Broadway, I want to go to Hollywood. And then when you start growing, you realize that Hollywood is not there. You're not going to John Togenda Hollywood. John Togenda kuzanya na Brad Pitt in the movie. Okay? So now start creating this. Start creating what is important. Now you start thinking about your kids. Now if I'm done with this, if I'm done with this, what is going to happen? If I quit theatre and go do business, I go to China and do this, how am I living my theatre? What is my legacy? You know, you understand? So now we are in such a situation, we are trying to think about your legacy. So I need my space. I sit home alone. I read a lot. I watch television a lot because I want to compare myself. I want to learn from television. All right? because the people we
It's
are.
an acting class right there.
Yeah, it is, because the people we are acting for, our audience, they live on television. That's what they want. They do not want what is in the books, in the television. No, they want what they see.
Yeah.
So you have to let your acts, maybe the television, you must, there must not be that big
Huge gap.
gap. You understand? So I'm in a period of thinking what should be done, what is the right way for this to be done. Some that kind of think. I don't know. I don't know what
You
will come
take
out
your
of it.
time.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what will come out
And
of
you're
it.
planning.
Yes, and I'm planning.
Because you said when you were younger, you were just
Yeah,
doing.
you are just
But
like
now you're
over the
planning.
weekends I used to go watch football with boys and we shout and we drink. But now you see, you understand that Arsenal is a business. And you do not have a business, John. You go concentrate on your business. Yes, you can read Arsenal after they have beaten them or whatever. You can read it on the internet. And the entire thing, you can watch it even after. Without the tension, you know the result. You start slowly by slowly calming yourself down. Kakana, kakana. Yes.
Thank you so much for
Okay.
coming on Peace the One
Yeah,
on One
okay.
and for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Just one last, maybe one last piece of advice you can give to everyone watching right now.
Yeah, to everyone watching, Crystal watching John, and you are there, you want to be like them, you should be patient. It's not easy, it's hard work, but if you believe in yourself, and you're ready for the hard work, you're ready for the patient, glory is there waiting for you. Glory is waiting for you.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you for this one last song that would be maybe your all-time favorite song. That would always make you feel better or take you back to a good place.
I would love the MJ song, Man in the Mirror. Yes, it is a powerful song, Man in the Mirror. That before you we have that in society. I've been criticized a lot, in society. Society looks at you differently. But before you look at the other person, why don't you take that mirror and look in that mirror, and the person in that mirror, is it perfect? Before you go and look for the other person, that person, you in the mirror, you perfect? Before you go out, you understand? So I think that is my. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay.